So I just wanted to show you guys that I set up a tip account so that you guys would be able to leave me small donations or tips. All of the money that is given to me will be used to help me make more videos, and it will also help me buy more art supplies. You can leave any amount that you feel led to, but as long as you make sure you leave a message and your name so I know like who you are, and if you would like, I could mention your name in a video, or people that give me tips or donations, I definitely will mention their names in videos. However, if they don't really want to be mentioned, I will keep them anonymous. It just depends on you and your personal preferences. But I would really appreciate if you guys would leave me tips. I get 95% of the tips, and the rest of the percent goes to the company. But yeah, so just wanted to share that, and you can access this link through my link tree. So this year for Christmas, me and my grandma decided to make all the women in our family jewelry boxes, and I did film some of the process of creating the jewelry boxes. So this first one that you are looking at was for my mom, and I'm just showing like kind of the inside of it because this was actually a wooden dollhouse that we found, but I ended up gluing. So sorry that my camera wasn't focusing. I know that's probably super annoying, but anyway, what you're looking at is a hook that I put in. I screwed in like the ceiling hooks, and then I put wood glue on top of it to kind of like seal it, and then I glued those little, that's the glue that I used to kind of glue everything in place. So, that comes out. But yeah, we got these little small boxes to go with it because I wanted her to have like a place to put like her rings and things and like earrings. So that's why I got those little boxes. And then the two in the top are glued in place. Sorry that my camera is like everywhere. I should have just used my tripod. But yeah, so these are the two colors that I decided to go with, and my plan was to make the outside teal and then the inside pink. I did start with like a whitewash base layer just so that the colors would pop. And then these are the other jewelry boxes that we worked on. This one was for my cousin. And then that one is for my other cousin. So, oh yeah, and then I put fabric inside of all of these. I put fabric inside of. So I started with the big one. as you can see, I'm just kind of, I noticed that there was a small crack in the wood, so I'm just taking some wood glue and putting it over it so the crack doesn't grow. So I let that dry a little bit and made sure everything was pretty much dry and in place. And I took those out so that I could start painting the whole thing white. I have these little paint palettes that I use, but I decided to use them to kind of like protect my desk while I was painting this one, just because I want my desk to stay nice. These paintbrushes I've had for 5 years. I love them. They're so old, but you know what? They work. They get the job done. But yeah, those are the brushes that I'm using. And you'll see me kind of start to like dip my brush in paint and dip my brush in water, kind of back and forth, just because I want a thin white base layer. And I'm using just acrylic paint. did it off camera just because it was a lot to do. And so I painted the whole outside teal, and I did 2 layers of the teal paint, and then I painted the whole inside pink, and I just did I think I did 2 layers on the inside as well. And now I'm just going to paint the boxes. I decided to paint the boxes green just because I had planned to add some like foliage to the steps and to the top of the dollhouse. Right now you see me just kind of like lightly going over some places that I noticed were a little bit thin. Like the layer that I did in that section was too thin and it didn't match the rest of it, so I went over it. So I already did a base layer on the boxes, so now I'm just kind of going over it again so that the wood, like none of the wood shows through. And again, I am using acrylic paint, and I've just like wet my brush and then dipped it in the paint and then wet my brush again, and I started kind of quickly like washing it back, like, you know, kind of quickly going over it. But this is just like what I like to do. This isn't like, oh, you should do it this way. Like, no, just this is what I do. This is like what, I don't know, it's just comfortable for, this is what's comfortable for me, I guess. I noticed a little problem area, so I just kind of touched it up a little bit, then went back to what I was doing originally. Yeah, I'm a little ADHD, so sometimes in these videos you're gonna see me like jump to something else really quickly and then go back to what I was doing or jump to a new thing. It's a thing. You're just gonna have to roll with the punches. So after I wrap up painting these, I'm going to just set them aside to dry, and I'm going to start working on the foliage that I wanted to add in to this. And to do that, I'm using graphy art supplies, or it's like a certain type of, I'm basically using a heavy bodied paint. It's a specific paint made to be able to use like cake decorating tools to bagpipe out the flowers so that it creates like a 3D effect. So usually when I do this, I use cake decorating tools and palette knives. I just recently started getting into doing this style of painting, or like, you know, using these tools in particular. I'm very new to this, so yeah. And the painting that I showed you was just kind of me doing like a tester to see what color scheme I wanted the flowers to be. I knew I was gonna have like the green leaves, but I didn't know what color like flowers, so I ended up going with like that kind of pinkish color that you guys saw in that painting. If you want to go back and look at it, you can. But yeah, so I'm basically using the red heavy bodied texture paint and some of the white, and I mixed it together with my palette knives to create the color that I wanted. And then I used a lot, and then I kind of spooned it into the bag that I prepped. So usually I'll have the bag that I'm gonna use, like the icing bag, I'll have it ready with the tip in it and everything, just have it prepped so that I can just kind of, you know, put the paint right into it. And what you see me doing here is I'm trying to push back the rest of the paint into the bottom of the bag so I can fold it up and like clip it, because I like to make sure that I'm getting the most out of my paint. Like I'm gonna use every drop, so I push it all back to the bottom, and then I fold up the bag and clip it so that the paint doesn't dry out, or you know, or that when I fold it up, paint doesn't squeeze out of the open end, you know. But yeah, I'm just mixing up the color that I want. Well, I thought I had footage of me showing you guys how I actually created the 3D flowers and leaves. but I guess I don't, which is unfortunate. But maybe later down the line I'll make a video, just like kind of a little like tutorial of what I do once I get better at it. I mean, I can show you guys now, but honestly, like, I'm still kind of learning myself. But I'll definitely, you guys will definitely get to see how they turned out at the end when I kind of go through all of the jewelry boxes, because I didn't film myself painting every single one. And then I didn't paint every single one. My grandma painted some, and then my aunt Keisha also painted one. So it was very much a team effort, which I liked, because like the idea of me painting all of them was it was a lot, and then I had class as well. So yeah, but all together they turned out really, really nice, and I definitely plan on making one for myself. So this is how they all turned out. This one was for my aunt Keisha, and it was painted by my grandmother. And I did glue some fabric to the inside of this one and to the bottom. Yeah, and then we even got little bracelets and to put inside of the jewelry box. So like when they opened their boxes on Christmas, there was something inside of it for them already, which was really cute. And sorry that my camera is not focusing, but yeah, they're just little butterflies. Yeah, I'm sorry that my camera, oh, okay, there it goes. Yeah, no, I don't know, we're having technical difficulties. Forgive me for the technical difficulties while I figure out. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, girl, I went to put some lotion on my hands, child. Oh, but yeah, these are the bracelets we put inside. This one I painted, and it's for my auntie Grace, and I glued fabric to the inside of all of the little boxes. And then I did stop painting at a certain point, just because I knew it was going to be a drawer, and I didn't want it to get like painted shut. So yeah, and I glued fabric to the insides. I think it turned out pretty good. This was actually where a picture was supposed to go, but since it was going to be a jewelry box, I decided, I mean, she's probably never going to put a picture in it so she can like see like her jewelry, you know? So yeah, and then I do plan to glue fabric to the bottom of that. Or I glued fabric to the bottom of it. And then this is how the one for my mom turned out. It's so cute. I put an L for her name, and then I put the jewelry on there so she can see that it has hooks, and then there's fabric inside of that one. And yeah, this is how the flowers turned out. They turned out pretty cute, actually. I'll show you guys the inside. And yeah, so it turned out really good. I did seal all of the jewelry boxes with a clear acrylic Mod Podge spray, so they all have a sealant, which is really good. And then I glued fabric to pretty much everything that held something inside of it, has fabric, you know, in it. If that makes sense. I'm pretty sure it does. But yeah, they all came out really nice, and everyone loved them. This one, it was not done when I filmed, but I glued fabric to the inside and the bottom, and I painted the top red and added her initial. And then this one, I did have to had some issues with it because I ended up having to sand the inside of it so that the drawers would be able to move more freely, but other than that, it came out very good. And that's all of them. And I hope everyone had a great Christmas and a happy new year, because I know I did.